Elsa? Go away, Anna. I have to say, I don't know what it is I've been doing differently with my face makeup recently, but I feel like these past two videos especially, I have looked phenomenal. Hello, welcome back to my story. If you did not know, my name is Harley Nouveau, and the purpose of this channel is to document my journey towards my North Star, while hopefully helping you find yours along the way. So if that seems like the place for you, then please subscribe to my channel and add your name to the storybook that is my life. In today's chapter, I've come to fulfill a promise that I made a couple of videos back, whenever I said that I would review the second half of the Frozen 2 collection by Colourpop. I just couldn't let it go, you guys. As always, the way this thing works is I am going to talk about this collection and all of the items included, how they perform, how I felt about them, and while I'm doing that, you'll be able to see me putting them on in this corner right here. I got my nails done this weekend and I feel like I'm back to full power. My hair is did, my nails are did. It's been a tough road, you guys. Is the Elsa collection set by Colourpop a happily ever after or a happily never after? Stay tuned to find out. Into the unknown.
Inspired by the Ice Queen herself, get the full Elsa collection that includes the Elsa palette, Luxe lipstick, ultra glossy lip, and glitterly obsessed gel. This item is limited edition.
And retails for $38. Off the bat, very similarly to the Anna collection that I did, I really do love the packaging on this. I think of the two, this one is definitely my favorite. I like the snowflake edition. It's very wintry, very cool. I know it's past Christmas, but hey. And then it does come with the ribbon so that you can tie it together and display it. Has the name embossed on it as well. And then on the back, it shows you what the different items included are and what they are. And inside, you get to see the 4 items included: the Glitterly Obsessed, the lipstick, the lip gloss, and the Elsa palette, which again just replicates the packaging on the outside. Now let's dive into the actual items themselves, shall we? First up is the Elsa 2 Frozen palette, and according to the website,
Be brave and bold with the cool toned Elsa palette, featuring 9 icy shades in matte, metallic, and pressed glitter finishes. You'll find your own way to express yourself.
and this retails for $15, and again, it's limited edition. So if it's not sold right now, I'm sorry you missed it. Just let it go. So as stated, it does come with 9 colors, and you can see on the back they do have the different colors laid out. I think I like this packaging more than a typical 9-pan monochromatic packaging, because this one is just a sticker, a really cheaply made sticker with the 9 colors on it, whereas this one is actually part of the component itself. I also like that this is cardboard as opposed to the typical plastic of the normal 9-pan palettes. It also does come with a mirror, although I have the protector on it, and you can see me talking inside. And then the 9 colors do look like this. There are 4 metallics, 3 mattes, this is more of a satin finish, and then the pressed glitter here. And in order they are: Cuddle Close, a white with a pinky opal flip; Fire, a pinky mauve; Northern Lights, a pinky purple with a vibrant minty flip; Gale, a warm lavender with an icy flip; Furry, an opal with a multi-dimensional glitter; Water, a dusty periwinkle; Awakened, a deep purple berry; Ice Crystals, a true silver; and Spindrift, a deepened wine. This palette does retail for $15. I don't really understand, and I've said this before, what it is about the way that Colourpop describes their colors on their page, but a pinky opal flip, a pinky mauve, a pinky purple. I don't know why they can't just say pink purple, pink flip. Sounds really juvenile to me. Now, before I get into the actual way that these performed on my face, I do have some notes on the swatches themselves. As you saw when I was applying it, I did experience these two to be a little drier than the rest, and you could see that with how chalky and overall patchy they looked in their application. Something I kept an eye out for as I put these on. As far as how the shadows performed themselves, now it is also worth noting, and I'll talk about this in a later video, I did use this new Ulta exclusive e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer, which is supposedly a dupe for Paint Pot, and I felt like, maybe it's the shadow itself, but that stuff was amazing. I feel like this look turned out beautifully. As far as how each individual color performs, the top color in the very left, I have on my inner corner, along with some glitter, and underneath my brow, and along the bridge of my nose. And I feel like it reads as an iridescent kind of white, but when you put it on in practice, it looks like a very, very pale purple. And I know it says it has a pinky opal flip, but I feel like it's borderline lilac. As far as how it performed, I thought that I didn't really have any complaints. It went on very well. It wasn't overly chalky or overly smooth, just typical performance from a Colourpop shimmer. So for how the 4 metallics performed, You guys know, I've said before, I really love the metallic formula from Colourpop. I didn't have any problems with them. They're very smooth, they're very blendable, they're evenly pigmented. I don't have any patchiness or anything like that. In this look, I actually only have it on my inner corner and on my nose, and then underneath, I have this color right here. As far as the mattes, I actually really love this. You guys have heard me say before that I feel like the matte formulation in each Colourpop palette can be hit and miss. Sometimes it works really well and other times it doesn't. I do have to say, however, that in practice, I noticed that this blue specifically was a little difficult to put on. It didn't want to go evenly, similarly to the swatch, and that it was chalky and skipped a little bit. I was very pleased to know that when I used all of these, they ended up the same on the eye as they do in the pan. As you guys know, I have criticized Colourpop in the past for being a bit inconsistent when it comes from the way the color looks in the palette as opposed to on your eye. I did not have that problem with this one. The glitter itself, you guys know that I like the idea of the glitter. I feel like it breaks up the monotony of the palette and adds a little bit of diversity, and I do have it on my upper lid. However, I also think it's terrible for the environment, and I really wish that they would use like flaked eyeshadows because it has the same effect and it's a lot more eco-friendly. And when it comes to the color story, I actually really like it. However, you notice I didn't talk about this color down here. I do have a bit of a criticism. I feel like this color is so similar to this color that it's really difficult to tell a big difference apart from the fact this is slightly deeper. I also have an issue with these formulas in general. I call them satin finishes. I stole that from Tati, you guys would know that as well. Basically a matte with little glimmer shimmer specks in it. But my issue is that I feel like every single time I've ever used a satin finish eyeshadow, it basically ends up matte. Like you can't even tell that there was glitter in it to begin with. So maybe it's something that's supposed to be aesthetically pleasing in the pan, but on your eye, it's just a matte. I don't know. It just seems like a bit of a waste of an ingredient. You don't get any of that sparkly blue silver finish with the powder itself. Not really the happiest about that, but I think that overall, when it comes to this specific item, it's one of my favorite palettes I've tried from Colourpop. I really love the color story. I feel like it's a very versatile winter palette and it performed very well. So I think that the Elsa shadow palette is a happily ever after for sure. Next up, I want to talk about the Glitterly Obsessed gel. This is in the color The Dark Sea, and the website says the following.
Get obsessed. This long-wearing glitter-packed gel paste provides ultra-intense sparkle. It's a silver blue glitter with multi-dimensional sparkles and is limited edition.
This does retail for $9. So like every Glitterly Obsessed comes with this little cap so that you can make sure it doesn't dry out. But I'll show you what this looks like in practice. Hopefully I don't get underneath my nail too much. Looks like that. It's very pretty. Honestly, I think it might be my favorite Glitterly Obsessed I've used so far. As the website said, if you're not familiar with this is a glitter paste. So the purpose of this is to rub wherever you want to rub it. Now it's not eye safe, even though I did use a little bit on my eyes. Some ideas for you is you can put it on your lips, you can put it on your body if you're going out, you can put it in your hairline if you really want to have an extra look. I don't know if you noticed, I put a little bit on my cheekbones to add a little bit of an effect, and then I put some on my inner corner to make it look like I'm kind of crying in a way, because I'm so sad. What is there really to say about this product other than it's a glitter gel? I like the formulation. It's not too tacky, it's not too sticky, it's not too dry. It does, however, transfer quite a bit, as you can see from my hand. So be really careful with that if you want to use it. Glitter gels really aren't something I use in my everyday makeup or that frequently at all. I don't know how long they last, but if you're into that kind of thing, I think Colourpop has a really good glitter gel, so I would say that this Glitterly Obsessed is a happily ever after as well. Next up, we have the Luxe lipstick in the shade Little Snow, and according to the website,
Luxe it up. Enriched with our Luxe blend of hydrating butters, this creamy long-wearing lipstick glides on the lips with rich pigmentation and a comfy lightweight formula.
This does retail for $9 as well. And before I talk about it itself, I want to talk about the component. I think of all of the Colourpop lipsticks that I have, which typically they have this kind of component where it's like little mini stars, and the Anna lipstick. This one is definitely my favorite. I love the design. I love the color. I feel like it's very cute. It's kind of a pink berry color, as you saw on my swatch when I used it. I already wiped it off, so I can't show you that again. And you can see it on my lips. I really do like this color. I feel, however, that it's definitely more of a winter tone. I don't think I'd really rock this in everyday life. You guys also know, and I've said a million times, that the Colourpop lipstick formula is my favorite formula of lipstick I've ever tried. Now, I haven't tried a huge diverse array, mostly drugstore with the exception of Becca, but I love the way that their lipsticks performed. And I know not everyone does, so to each their own. It went on very smooth, went on very opaque. It didn't take multiple passes. It did take multiple passes to get my lips covered only because I'm terrible at putting on lipstick. So it was like making sure that it looked normal. I always have such a hard time in making it even in like one consistent line. So the payoff is great. My technique, a little abysmal, I'll be honest with you. I don't know necessarily if I would use this again, just because I'm unsure how I feel about the color, but I'm definitely gonna keep the component because I love the way it looks. So when it comes to the Colourpop Little Snow Luxe lipstick, it is a happily ever after as well. And then finally, we have the Colourpop Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Mythic Journey. And according to the website,
Glass Light Shine with a subtle shimmer and sheer tint.
whoa, my speech impediment kicked my ass right there.
Enriched with jojoba oil.
I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Oil to moisturize, nourish, and to provide a cushiony feel for juicy, fuller-looking lips.
It's described as an opal with multi-dimensional flick lip gloss, and it does retail for $8. You guys know I have a love-hate relationship with the Colourpop lip glosses. For a while, they were kind of the only lip gloss I really had tried, and as I got more experienced and more explorative in the world of makeup, I discovered that their formula is really not that great. The coloration on them are also something I kind of struggle with because I feel like sometimes it's just kind of boring looking. However, I will say this. I love the effect that this gives on the lips. It looks kind of like there's glitter there. And I don't really have that in a lot of my lip glosses that aren't a crazy color. So I like the fact that it is a clear, sparkly lip gloss. However, when it comes to how this performs, I always notice, and I don't know if you can see it, you can a little bit. I always notice that when I use these lip glosses, I get really bad butthole lip, which I describe as the collection of lip product along the, I don't know if you call it waterline of your mouth, but where your lips kind of overlap and the saliva's there so product doesn't stay. And it also pushes the color off onto the sides of my mouth a lot. So I never ever reach for these formulas. The most I would probably do with this, because I like the sparkle, is maybe utilize it for a lip gloss eyeshadow look. I do like the component, however, but since you know I'm not a big fan of this formula, for $8, I do feel like you can get some good lip gloss formulas elsewhere, especially from drugstore brands. And if you want to spend a little bit more, there's some brands that are a little over this cost that have amazing lip glosses. So unless you just really want to have that diamond effect that this gives you, I would say that this is a happily never after. So with 3 out of 4 items given my stamp of approval, that makes the entire Elsa collection a happily ever after. Like her sister, she did only get 3 out of 4. You know, we can't all be perfect. When it comes to the two collections comparatively, I do think that Elsa was the better performer. I do, however, think that Anna is the more wearable of the two, so it kind of just depends if you're wanting a more limited color palette, but you're into that thing, or if you want something you can use every day. But I think that this performed better when it came to the individual items. I do think that the Glitterly Obsessed and the lipstick performing the exact same in both, so there's not a clear-cut winner there for me. Ultimately, what it came down to is the eyeshadow palette. I like this one a lot better than the Anna palette. Maybe it's because of the colors. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of like warm neutral eyes, but I just feel like this one is a lot more show-stopping of a palette to me. I also think that I like the color of this lipstick more than the other one, and the lip gloss color story way better than the other one. So if I had to recommend you to pick one over the other, I would say pick this one, but that's just me. And that is all she wrote in this chapter of my story. Do you guys have any thoughts on the items that I talked about, or my thoughts on the items that I talked about? Or do you have any thoughts on this makeup look that I did today? I don't know if I told you, but again, I tried doing that thing where I put blush where the picture is, so like right in here. I'm really digging it. I'm probably gonna get a lot of compliments at work since they compliment my bad makeup. I'm sure this one will go over well. As always, I am Harley Nouveau, and I wish each of you every happiness until our stars next align.